If I told you that wealth has less to do with money and far more to do with mindset, would you believe it? Jim Rohn used to say, if you want to have more, you must first become more. And that single idea has created more millionaires, more success stories, and more breakthroughs than any economic advice ever could. Today, we're breaking down the wealth attraction mindset. Jim Rohn. Never stop teaching. The mindset that pulls opportunity toward you, instead of you endlessly chasing it. So let me ask you a simple question. Is your mindset attracting wealth, or quietly pushing it away? Let's begin. The philosophy behind every dollar. Jim Rohn believed that wealth doesn't start in your wallet. It starts in your thinking. Your philosophy becomes your habits. Your habits become your results, and your results determine your lifestyle. He would often share this analogy. Two people can read the same book, attend the same class, and live in the same economy. Yet one builds wealth, while the other stays stuck. What's the difference? Philosophy. One person sees every idea as a seed. The other sees it as a suggestion. So ask yourself, what ideas are you letting shape your life? Are they lifting you or limiting you? Because the moment you decide to adopt a philosophy of growth, learning, discipline, and responsibility, the path to wealth opens wider than you can imagine. The mindset of value over income. Jim Rohn never focused on income for income's sake. He focused on value. He'd say, don't wish it were easier, wish you were better. Not in a harsh way, but in a transformative way. Imagine a farmer planting seeds. He doesn't yell at the soil, demand bigger crops, or hope for a miracle harvest. He simply adds more value, more seeds, better care, consistency. Wealth follows the same laws. Wealth comes to the person who increases their value, through skills, through character, through contribution. So the question becomes, are you becoming more valuable each year, or simply getting older? If you increase your value, income cannot help but follow. It's a natural consequence, like gravity. The discipline that turns intentions into wealth. Intentions don't attract wealth. Discipline does. Jim Rohn would often say, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment, and that bridge is built one small plank at a time. Think of the gym. Anyone can buy a membership. Only a few show up. The ones who show up attract results, not because results are magical, but because discipline is. A student once asked Jim why small disciplines matter. He replied, because small neglects lead to big losses, and small disciplines lead to big rewards. Maybe your small discipline is reading 20 minutes a day. Maybe it's tracking your spending, improving your skills, or waking up early. Whatever it is, wealth begins when you choose discipline over convenience. So ask yourself, what is one small discipline you've been postponing that might change everything? If you simply started today. As we move forward from discipline and philosophy, we step into a deeper layer of Jim Rohn's wealth attraction teachings. Because once you begin improving yourself, wealth starts behaving differently around you. Opportunities show up. Ideas spark. People notice. Doors open. But Jim was clear. Wealth doesn't respond to need. It responds to seeds, the habit of constant skill development. Jim Rohn would often say, success is something you attract by the person you become. Meaning what? You don't chase success. You become someone success finds. Think about it. If you improve your skills, if you sharpen your thinking, if you expand your ability to solve problems, your value increases automatically. He once joked that if you're paid $10 an hour, it's not the hour that's worth $10. It's what you bring to that hour. And here's an analogy Jim loved. A small increase in skill, just a little sharpening of the axe, makes the wood cutting 10 times easier. The axe didn't change. You did. So ask yourself, what one skill, if you doubled it, would transform your earning potential? Public speaking, marketing, financial literacy, leadership, negotiation? The wealth attraction mindset is built on the simple truth. If you become more valuable, the marketplace rewards you automatically. The mastery of awareness and association. Jim Rohn had a famous line. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And while people quote it often, they sometimes miss its deeper meaning. He wasn't talking about judging people. He was talking about guarding your mind. Your associations shape your expectations. Your expectations shape your actions. Your actions shape your results. Picture this. If you spend time with people who complain, you start to complain. If you spend time with people who blame, you start to blame. But if you spend time with people who take responsibility, who think big, grow daily, invest wisely, you absorb their atmosphere. Wealth has an environment, and Jim knew that environments influence behavior more than motivation alone ever could. So here's a reflective question. Who are you becoming because of the people you're around? If the answer makes you uncomfortable, that's good. Awareness is step 1. Adjustment is step 2. Actionable habits that attract wealth. Jim Rohn didn't want people to just feel inspired. He wanted them to create habits that produced real change. Here are a few habits he considered foundational. The daily journal habit. Jim called journaling one of the most valuable disciplines of his life. It helps you think better, plan better, observe better. A journal becomes the record of your becoming. 2. The 70-10-10-10 rule. Spend wisely, invest consistently, give generously, save intentionally. He believed that money flows best when it's given a purpose. 3. The reading habit. He recommended just 15-20 minutes of reading a day. Books are like mentors that never get tired of teaching. 4. The one better decision rule. Jim taught that you don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to make one better decision today than you did yesterday. Better choices create better lives, slowly, then suddenly. These small habits form the architecture of the wealth-attracting mindset. Not dramatic, not flashy, but powerful. The belief system that makes wealth possible. We've walked through discipline, philosophy, skill, association, and habits. But Jim Rohn would remind us, you can have all the right tools and still fail if your beliefs are working against you. Because the greatest barrier to wealth isn't money, it's mindset. It's what you believe you're capable of. It's the quiet conversations you have with yourself when no one's watching. Jim said it best. The major key to your better future is you. And in this final part, we'll talk about how successful people train their minds to attract wealth, long before they see the results. The belief that you are worthy of wealth. Wealth begins in the mind, long before it shows up in your bank account. Jim understood that people push away wealth not because they lack ability, but because they don't think they deserve more. Let me give you an example. Jim once mentored a man who had every skill, every opportunity, and every resource to succeed, but he stayed average. Why? Because deep down he believed wealth was for other people. The day he changed that belief, truly changed it, his entire life shifted. So let me ask you honestly, do you believe you're worthy of the life you want? Because if you don't believe you're worthy, you will quietly sabotage progress every time it tries to find you. Wealth doesn't come to those who doubt themselves. It comes to those who accept responsibility for becoming more. The mindset of long-term vision. One of the philosophies Jim taught relentlessly was the importance of long-term thinking. He would say, don't measure your life by the harvest. Measure it by the seeds you plant. Most people want results now, today, this week, this month. They want the fruit without understanding the seasons. But successful people live differently. They sow, they water, they cultivate, and they trust the process. They aren't discouraged by slow progress. They expect it. Think of a bamboo tree. It grows underground for years before it breaks through the soil. But when it finally does, it shoots up 80 feet in a matter of weeks. That's what wealth looks like. Years of unseen effort, then sudden results. So here's the question. Can you stay committed long enough for your bamboo moment? Becoming the person who attracts wealth. Jim Rohn didn't want students to chase wealth. He wanted them to become wealth magnets, people whose character, habits, and mindset naturally attract success. So, what does that person look like? They're consistent. They're intentional. They're disciplined. They're growing. They take responsibility. They understand that everything they want is tied to who they become. Jim's message was simple but life-changing. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job, because your job will earn you a living. But you, your mindset, your habits, your discipline, can earn you a fortune. And the moment you realize that, truly realize it, you stop competing with others and start competing with the person you were yesterday. If you want to attract wealth the way Jim Rohn taught it, here's the truth. You don't start with money. You start with discipline, with philosophy, with skills, with associations, with habits, with belief, with vision. Wealth isn't something you chase. It's something you build inside first. And if you start building these principles today, even in small ways, you'll be amazed at what begins to show up in your life. Not because life suddenly gets easier, but because you get better. If you're ready to adopt the wealth attraction mindset Jim Rohn never stopped teaching, type it in the comments. I'm ready to grow. I'm taking action. Here's one habit I'll start today. And if this message inspired you, make sure to subscribe for more Jim Rohn style wisdom and daily personal growth content. Your future is waiting. Go build it.